Hey guys, it's Sasha from Baha Reads, and I'm back with a book review, and today we're going to be talking about, well, obviously you've taught Queenie by carty-williams. So why I picked Queenie up? I picked Queenie up because I bought it well, yeah, that is one reason. But June is Caribbean American Heritage Month in America, and I bought a whole bunch of Caribbean books that I haven't read to read for this month to promote reading Caribbean. And Queenie already happened to be on my to-buy list, so I said, well, and plus I love the cover, and it knocked off. I was trying to read some books from different islands, and Queenie knocks off Jamaica for me, so that's why I picked it up. Book summary: well, Queenie Jenkins is a 25-year-old woman who just broke up with her white British boyfriend, but it's basically just about her finding herself, finding out what she wants out of life, healing different parts of her and all that good stuff. Yeah, if you all could tell, my enthusiasm really isn't this high, but I feel like I had to talk about this book. Most people I see loved it. Only Peter from Cozy Comfy reads. Shit. God, I can't remember what her channel name exactly is. I know it's Cozy Comfy. Oh, but anyway, she didn't like the book, and like she hit the nail on the head with like almost everything she didn't like, I didn't like, and she rated it a little bit lower than I did. But I will tell you my rating at the end. But yes, themes in Queenie, you see my energy's back up. Themes in Queenie are obviously finding yourself, so like self-discovery, I guess, racism, classism, trying to deal with two different cultures. So yes, my expectations for this book were, my expectations for every book I pick up is pretty high. I believe that, like, I'm not going to pick up a book if I think it sucks unless I'm reading it specifically for a reason, like school or something like that, or somebody's like, oh my god, this sucks so bad, and like and sometimes I'm nosy, so I want to be like, oh my god, I want to see why it sucks. This was something I was interested in. And the writing, I do love the writing. I didn't think it was so like poetic and prolific, but I didn't think it was trash. I felt like this was definitely a more character driven, plot driven book than like slow with beautiful like prose type writing. You know, I always wonder in book reviews if you should like hold the book up the whole time or like put it down. But what I liked, the list of things I didn't like could go on and on, but things I did like, I loved the Caribbean elements in this book. I loved, not necessarily all of them, but you know, like when you see something that's familiar to you, or you like read a character say something that your parents or grandparents would say to you, it's just like kind of connects with you in a certain way. Obviously I cannot speak on like Jamaican culture because that's not my culture, but Caribbean culture kind of has connecting things. So this is the part where I'm supposed to be talking about good things, but I keep wanting to say bad things. But I do love how Queenie, like there's mental health issues in this book, and she goes to therapy and stuff, but I really loved that her grandparents, which usually does not happen, I ain't even gonna lie, because I have a few family members myself where like their grandparents and stuff like kind of want to pretend like nothing's going on, when in actuality you just need to get them help. But like a lot of Caribbean parents and grandparents do not want to pretend like mental health doesn't exist. And the fact that her people in this book were like, okay, fine, I was like, wow, that's crazy. I liked that. I liked the latter half of this book, not necessarily the first half. I liked Queenie in the latter half of this book when she was finally discovering what she wanted out of life. I did like that while I didn't like Queenie knew herself. Queenie knew what she was doing wasn't too great, but she just couldn't stop herself, and I liked the fact that she recognized that she needed help. So I was glad at that, because if this was just like a downward spiral book, I was gonna rate this like 1 or 2 stars. But thankfully she did get the help she needed. So yeah, I did love the family element in this book for the most part. The grandparents, the auntie, even though she might be annoying, and like her cousin too, even though she kind of thinks that Queenie is a little lame sometimes. Like, you can see that they really do love each other. I also, obviously, I stated before, loved the Caribbean elements in this book. For the most part, it was really good. Disliked for basically the entire book. I'm not ashamed to say this. I ain't like Queenie, y'all. I just, she wasn't hitting it for me. And yes, I know, like, all the self-depraving stuff she's supposed to be doing is adding to the plot, but it wasn't even necessarily that. Like, straight out the gate, when she was talking and her thoughts, and I said, sis, what's going on? Like, wasn't doing too much for me. So I didn't like her in the beginning. I did like her friends for the most part, so that could have gone in the liked category, but I ain't say that. So I liked your friends for the most part, and then other times I was like, yo, your friends ain't like, your friend ain't your friend, okay? Because they wasn't doing too much for her. The fetishing, and I was like, huh? Like, I know, like, it's part of the plot, but you would think, even though, okay, the family issues that was going on, like, she didn't have her grandparents or like her parents, or even, I don't know, the self-respect, which I know is a part of the plot. So I know you're like gonna be like, Sasha, but that was a part of the plot. I know, but like the fetishing, and like, this gal ain't had no self-respect ain't no respect for herself. If a man to tell me like those kind of things, I wasn't gonna go with him. Like, and she just sapped it up to fill up, the hole in her heart. And I was like, I didn't like it. I know it's part of the plot. I still didn't like it. I did like, they did mention Black Lives Matter in here a few times, and like something Queenie was passionate about, which I know that's supposed to be in the like thing too. But the reason why it's in the dislike thing is because they brought it up a few times and then it just got dropped. Like, you didn't ever hear about it anymore. So it was like, it didn't even make no sense to bring it up in the first place. In my humble opinion, I know it's supposed to kind of be like, even though she's passionate about something, just because she's so stagnant in her own life, she can't even pursue the things she's passionate about or wants to talk about. But I just didn't like it. I was like, that's a distracting element, especially reading it in this current time. I was like, just don't bring it up at all for me. I was frustrated for the most part. Oh my god, how this gal let herself get used by so many people. Jesus. And I hated her one friend. Y'all know the one if y'all read this book. Obviously I disliked the abuse type vibe in here. It was part of the plot, but I don't know why. I was just feeling like, if she came from such an intact family, why didn't her grandparents or her aunts recognize it? I know that her mom kind of like withdrew them because of homeboy from like their inner family circle, but I feel like I know some of my family members, they would never allow that to happen. Like, oh, you think you just gonna get away from us? No, like, we gonna be showing up at your door and whatnot. And that just didn't make sense. In some way, it didn't make sense to me. So yeah, it's kind of going in the dislike. Yeah, not gonna lie, I still have lots of mixed feelings towards Queenie. I don't know, like, if I've even sorted them all out yet, and it's been like a solid 10 days since I've read this book, almost read and finished this book. But my rating for Queenie is 3 stars. If you'd like to know what 3 stars mean for me, check out my other video, which is how I rate my books, which will be in the cards. That's all for now, though. I'll catch y'all later. Don't forget, you're very special and God loves you very much.